Hi, it's Chris here at Toyota West in Statesville, North Carolina. Welcome to another edition of Service Time. Every day we see cars in excess of 300,000 miles. Today we're going to talk about this car right here, which has 180,000 miles on it. So today we're going to talk about how you can keep your Toyota running for 180,000 miles. Toyota recommends a 5,000 mile service interval. Vehicles which are routinely serviced every 5,000 miles are the ones that we see with the high mileage. So now we're going to walk you through what we would normally inspect on a 5,000 mile service. We start under the hood of the vehicle. First we inspect the battery. We test it to make sure that it's holding the proper charge to start your vehicle every day. Then we're going to move on to a fluid inspection. We can check things like the brake fluid. We would inspect the power steering fluid level and also your windshield washer fluid. Then we would move on to a visual inspection of all the belts and hoses underneath. We've got radiator hoses, your serpentine belt, and your air filters. Now that we're under the vehicle, we can continue our 48-point inspection, and we can look at things like suspension components and shock absorbers. We can also see the brakes and the tires. As we work our way from the front to the back of the vehicle, we check for things like oil leaks and exhaust leaks, so we can see the exhaust system to make sure that there's no rot. We can check the transmission pan, the oil pan for leaks. Continuing towards the back of the vehicle, we found that there was an oil leak coming out of the tail shaft of the transmission. This is why the inspection underneath the vehicle is important, because these are the things that you cannot see on a daily basis. Now continuing to the back of the vehicle, we found that the rear brakes are down to about 3 millimeters. This is where we would recommend replacement of the rear brakes. Further continuing the inspection, we check the rear suspension components along with the rear axle and the condition of the spare tire. 1,000 mile service interval also includes an oil and a filter change and a chassis lubrication. Moving on to the tire rotation part of the service, removing the wheels allows us to further inspect the brake components and the suspension components. And now that the tire is off, I can use a tread depth gauge to accurately measure the tread thickness to make sure that it's still a safe tire. So now that we've finished the 5,000 mile service and inspection in a quick half hour, I'm going to go ahead and tell the customer that we found the oil leak and recommend rear brake pad replacement. So don't forget to get your vehicle inspected every 5,000 miles so we can get you on your way to 300,000 miles. And stay tuned for another edition of Service Time here at Toyota West in Statesville, North Carolina.